Okay, everybody. So I am so excited for my next guest on my show. It is Julia Rehwald, aka Kate from Fear Street Part 1, 1994, which is on out on Netflix right now. I am so excited to talk to you. How are you doing today, Julia?
I'm good. I'm a little tired right now because I couldn't sleep last night, but I live on the East Coast, so the movie dropped at like 3 a.m. my time. So I ended up waking up in the middle of the night and was like texting the rest of the cast who's on the West Coast as it was happening. And I was like, why am I awake? But I was excited.
No, and I'm on the East Coast myself. And so people who don't know, we're pre-recording this. You're watching this Monday. It is Monday if you're watching this, but it's actually Friday when we're talking, and it's on release day. So it's an honor to talk to you during your kind of big morning today, where your life's going to change. Now, are you see, like, as we speak, your Instagram has about 2,000 followers, but I know by Monday you're probably going to have a billion times that. Are you mentally prepared for like the attention you're about to get?
No, because for me the 2000 was huge. Like my siblings and I were having like a fun countdown. They were like, "Oh, you're gonna hit 1,000 followers soon," and I was like, "Wow, this is so big." And then, like you just said, today I woke up and it was 2000. I was like, "Oh my God, this is crazy."
Yeah. So as we speak, while people are in the future, you're probably right now at like, I'm gonna predict like 80,000 at least in a weekend, and it'll go up. But so let's break down this film, because why I'm excited to talk to you about is we can kind of go into Kate's character, and you can already see with the fan reaction on Twitter already that people are talking about Kate being their fan favorite, that Kate deserved better, which we'll get to. But the big moment I want to talk about with your character for me, which I think a lot of people are going to ask questions about, is when she kind of leads the charge to sacrifice Sam. Can you kind of go into the mindset of Kate in that moment and what she was actually thinking?
Yeah, I think that um like at that point it feels like they've tried everything that they can do to possibly like fight the evil and like get out on top, and it seems like they've exhausted all their options. This, realistically speaking, is the only thing that they can do left unless they all want to just keep dying one by one. I don't think she's like excited or like happy about it, and I don't think she's completely apathetic, but I think in that moment she's like, this is just like what we have to do, and I'll be the one to say it. Because I mean, she she really just wants to get out of this alive, and she wants her friends to get out too. No one wants to be put in this dangerous situation for longer than they have to, and I think she's just kind of at the end of her rope there.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. And you're talking about her friends there, but you're also talking about the character of Josh, which she starts having a little thing with. Can you kind of explain maybe where you saw what was it about Josh that attracted to Kate? What was drawing Kate into Josh, you think?
Yeah, I think it was like a really slow kind of unfolding, and I think she knows from the go that Josh has like a little crush on her. I mean, she's his older sister's best friend. I think she knows she's got a little admirer within Josh. But then I feel like this is actually the first day that um they actually get to spend time with each other beyond like saying hi when Kate comes over and stuff, and she actually gets to see how cool Josh really is. And I think it kind of like opens her up in a little bit of a way. And she's probably a little more vulnerable under the circumstances that she's under then. So I think she's just a little more willing to be like, yeah, this kid's kind of cool, which I think
No,
is really
yeah,
sweet.
sure. It's totally sweet. And I think people are going to love that pairing. But, as we go on with this, we're having these sweet moments with Kate. It's obviously, unfortunately, going to lead to something tragic. But before we even get into that, because I keep teasing it, but what I was so impressed with your acting is that I don't think people understand how hard it is to pull off doing anything that's very scream queen. And you absolutely crush it with the screaming and your reaction to being afraid. Can you kind of give us like, I always wonder, how does an actress get to that place? Like, how do you really feel like you're afraid in that moment, even though you're on set? Like, how do you
Yeah.
get there?
Um, I'd say, okay, so like the two big parts where I do the screams, or I have the one big scream in the hallway at the hospital, and that one was like really scary, just like nerve-wracking to do, because I was like, I think the angle that it looks like on screen looks like it could be scary, but when we were filming it, it was just like I saw him coming, like I was like, oh, okay, this is when I have to time the scream. And I was like, I really hope this like ends up looking and sounding right, but you can't really like practice it. So it's just one of those things where I was like, well, take one. Well, I guess let's give it a shot and see how it goes, I guess. And then once I like did it the first time, I was like, okay, now I know how this is gonna feel. And then it kind of just became down to timing, which was nice. And then so that one was interesting because there was no, like, it was purely just kind of like I had to like make it up in a way. Whereas all of the screams and stuff in the grocery store, uh, those were like, I think because we were really like tussling with each other and we were actually like doing all of the things, it kind of became more of a acting moment that I could draw from what was actually happening, because it actually was like really physical and building up. So it was kind of nice to, it was kind of fun to do like all the gnarly reactions there.
Yeah, and you do them so well, and I think it's such an underappreciated skill in the acting world. So it's awesome that you bring it. But going from your gnarly reactions to gnarly badass moment you have is when you make this like makeshift flamethrower. Now it happens really quick, but I was wondering, like, is that you holding that flame? Is that like real pyrotechnics happening, or is it like a stunt person? Like, how does that even happen?
Yeah, it was a real stunt that we just
Oh,
I like, for some reason when I was like getting ready to like film that day, I was like so busy focused on the like hand-to-hand combat that I just like was like, oh yeah, there's the part with the flame, but you know, I guess that happens. And then they like were like, okay, like you're gonna do the fire stunt now. And I was like, oh, right. But it was just like a can of hairspray and the lighter. And they let me practice out back. And I was like, it was the biggest flame that I'd been around. But so I was a little nervous at first. And then when we actually did it, I was like, okay, I was like, let me do it again. Let me do it again. And they're like, no, 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 we got it. You only need one take. You're good. I was like, are you sure? Because I can do it again.
no, that's amazing. That's like something that's on just like on my bucket list to actually make a flame like that. And you're just doing it casually in the middle of filming. That's pretty cool. So that leads now, which everyone's going to want to hear about, is the iconic, shocking, disturbing death of your character, Kate, through a bread slicer. I thought this was the best moment of the actual film because in most scenes like that, we're so attached to your character that we're like, oh, they're not going to kill her. And like at that moment, I'm like, someone's going to save her. And it happens. And it really is effective and horrifying, which is awesome. But is there an honor to that for you having such an amazing way to go out? Like, what was your just reaction, maybe reading that in the script the first time or even the first time you watched it?
Yeah, I was super excited about it. I thought it was sick. So I thought I like kind of had to remind myself that like people were gonna be like upset and sad about it. Cause then like I was watching it with like my little sister when I watched it for the first time. And she was like so upset. And I was sitting next to her like, oh, this is so awesome. And then I looked over and I was like, oh right, this is also like this is sad too. um but yeah, I was excited. I thought the death was really cool, and I was like, if Kate's gonna die and if I have to film a death scene, I'm glad that it's like as awesome as this one was, you know. um so it was a really cool moment to get to see, because to see what it looked like with all like the effects and stuff. Because I remember when we were filming it, I was like, God, I wonder what this is gonna like actually look like. Because they had me doing it, and then they had like a prosthetic dummy that they made to like actually put
Okay.
through the thing that like looked like me, and then they added the effects after. So it was kind of cool to like actually see it, the final product, and be like, that is as gnarly as I was imagining when I read it in the script.
Oh, hell yeah. And how is that like when you had all the cake on your face? Do you take a little bite out of it too while you're doing that? Was it like good or is it just
Yeah, it was it was like, so we did the first dunk, and then from there on out, the rest of the day, it was like I had two makeup people on me the whole day, but neither one was doing like makeup. Like one person was dedicated to touching up the blood, and one person was dedicated to touching up the cake and like making sure all like the frosting was in the right spot. And then like I think halfway through filming that scene, like we took a break and like had to do our lunch for the day. So I was like outside, like covered in cake, just like on my break. And I was like, it was like melting. I was like, no, just stay on, stay on.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah.
So shifting gears now, just from the excitement around the film, you had posted on your Instagram that it was your first movie premiere in LA for Fear Street Part One, and you're on this carpet taking photos with Gillian Jacobs, Sadie Sink. What was that like for you?
Oh my gosh. It was it was absolutely wild. Like, yeah, I think it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like go with the flow and just do everything as it comes along. And it was like pretty nerve-wracking when I got there because I was like, I really hate getting my picture taken. It makes me nervous. So like the idea of like going to the carpet, I was like, oh my God. And doing interviews was like nerve-wracking. But then it was like when I got there, like the rest of the cast was also doing it at the same time. So we were all like seeing each other while we were going on the carpet and stuff. And like, I was like, oh, we're all here. We're all having fun. This is awesome. And then it was like, it was just fun after that.
No, yeah, it's awesome, and it's just exciting talking to you because, like, in my head, I want to do this interviews. I'm like, okay, this is my one chance to talk to her before she blows up. But here's the thing, um, I think people are going to want to know because you're a newer actress in the eyes to people about you. So, what was the moment in your life that you knew you wanted to do this and be an actress? Like, what was that big moment?
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I was one of those kids who grew up doing like theater as it like I was like an actor like my whole life essentially. But like I didn't think it was like I didn't think I was going to pursue it as a career when I was a kid. And then I think in high school that's when that shift happened. And I'd say the big moment that like my parents were like, yeah, we can let her go to college to like go to art school, I guess. That's fine. And then also when I like solidified that I wanted to was like our fall play senior junior year of high school or no, it was senior year. My gosh, senior year of high school. We did Romeo and Juliet and I played Juliet and I'm like I'm just like a huge Shakespeare fan and nerd, and then to actually get to like do that was like I was like I really want to do this for the rest of my life, and if it is a tough road to get there, that's fine. Like I will do it because it has to be the thing, and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, and it's so impressive, like to have you on this big stage in a Netflix film like this in a big franchise with R.L. Stein, and to just be so good in the first time people see you is just so impressive. But do you have any actresses or actors you looked up to or look up to currently that kind of inspire you?
Mm, um, let's see. Growing up, okay, I have two. I've been like a Lea Salonga fan since I was like a child in the womb. She's my everything. Anything she does is like inspiring to me. And I think I met her back in college because I waited. She did a show on Broadway, and I was like, I have to wait. I have to get an autograph. And then I met her, and I was like, oh my God. And then my other one, when I was like younger and still today, I'm like a huge Sarah Michelle Gellar fan,
Oh
which
wow,
kind of
okay.
stems from I Know What You Did Last Summer because I was
Oh, that's
obsessed
amazing.
and Scooby-Doo obsessed. So I love her. So those were the two that I really loved when I was like, growing up. And then today, oh gosh, there's probably a lot, but like in the past few years, like everyone else, I really love Florence Pugh. I think she's got the best like screen presence and just like star power that I've seen in so long.
Those are amazing picks, and just with Sarah Michelle Gellar too. Like I feel like it's so cool because it's kind of coming full circle for you because you're like going in her, following in her footsteps, which is awesome. And
Right?
as I'm interviewing you, it's almost disturbing me that you have knives behind you because I'm like, oh my, I'm getting
Oh,
flashbacks from the film. There's no bread slicers around you, right?
no, not a bread slicer in sight. Thank goodness.
Thank God. So before I let you go, Julia, is there, not spoilers, but for the fans, is there a chance we could see Kate in some form or another in these next two films? And you don't have to answer that.
Yeah, like I'll be back for the third movie, but not playing Kate exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we like all are playing when we go back to 1666, we'll be there, but playing like 1600s people. And it's not like the same character, but all of our characters that we play there are like kind of very similar and have like a similar core to them. So there's a lot of Kate vibes going on in my 1600s character. And then I think she makes like a brief, like a RIP cameo.
Oh,
Maybe,
okay, great.
I
Because
think. Yeah.
yeah, because when I search the hashtag for Fear Street, people are like, just that tweet's going on and on of Kate deserved better. So people are going to see you again. They want more Julia, and it's a tribute to your skill as an actress and your likability. But everybody, check out Julia's Kate now in Fear Street Part 1, 1994 on Netflix. It is out now, and Part 2 and Part 3 will be coming out the following Fridays. Julia, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to talk to you again in the future one day.
Thank you for having me.